Welcome to Haunt Talk. Today we are going to do our review on Dead Acres Haunted Hoochie. It is right outside of Columbus in a town that I cannot pronounce. I think it's Pataskala, Pataska, Alaska,
something along those lines.
Pakistan.
You know. I'm sure you'll feel free to correct us in the comments and make fun of us, whatever. But
I'm used to it by now.
Yep, don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
anyhow, last year was our first year going, and we absolutely loved it. So we went back again this year.
Yep.
And clearly, we went back this year.
It's one of those haunted houses that you probably heard about. If you haven't, I'm kind of surprised, especially if you're from around this area. It's kind of like renowned as one of the best that there is, and there's a lot of really good ones that are really far too, but it's renowned as one of the best ones and one of the most extreme type haunted houses. But before they started all these blackout haunts and that kind of stuff, like Haunted Hoochie was one of the most intense ones.
Mm-hmm. If you have an issue with being touched, being cursed at, intense graphic scenes,
violence,
don't go.
Yeah.
However, if you're okay with all of this, clearly we are.
Or if you're very bothered by Satanism, not that they're not Satanists, but they do have a whole satanic church scene with satanic nuns with upside down crosses on their faces and burning pentagrams, and
really cool.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Not that I'm a Satanist, but it
was really
production-wise,
cool. I believe I may have said Hail Satan, but I don't know. I might come out now. I know it did.
Things that come out in the moment. It was in the heat of the moment. It happens.
It's okay.
Everyone says Hail Satan in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, who doesn't do that? If you're cool, you say Hail Satan.
Mm-hmm. There's two haunted houses here. You're mainly going for the Haunted Hoochie. The other one is Bad Trip in 3D.
Yeah, Bad Trip in 3D, which is basically... It's kind of like a glorified Christmas light walkthrough, but Halloween version, because there's only 2 or 3 actors in there.
There was 4 or 5, I counted.
Oh, some of them actually, they were going in between. But it's mainly to see, they have really awesome things in there to look at, though, and it's kind of, we call it the palate cleanser, because after the horrificness and terrible things that happened in the Haunted Hoochie, this place is the polar opposite. It's just kind of
I remember
a pretty house to go through.
When we went last year, after we went through the Haunted Hoochie, we were going through another, I'm like, I don't know if I can handle another, so I was very relieved, in a sense, that it wasn't... I was very relieved in a sense that it wasn't as intense as the first house, and it kind of gives you that calming down. You good now?
I'm just going to take those off. It's alright. I'm all in my face.
It's in your hair.
Oh, that's fine.
Anyhow.
So.
It's on your nose.
But yeah, it's pretty freaking awesome. So I guess we'll go ahead and just get into the review then, because might as well.
Before he dumps more hot chocolate on his stupid face.
I wasn't dumping. I was slurping, and I slurped a little hard.
Production, we rated a 9.5.
Yes. It is very, very good in their set dressings. Just a few minor complaints. It is one of those places that sends you in the biggest group they possibly can. And so, we happen to see a couple scenes reset. So, the guy will, drill something into the woman's face, and then she comes back to life for the next group of people that walk in, but we couldn't leave the room yet.
Yeah. One thing I also want to add about the giant groups they send you in, they force you, this giant group, into a room about, this square.
Yeah,
and
really
they just,
small.
Violently shove you on top of
They just grab me, they take up, and they just push you.
I had strangers, on top of me, and I was on top of strangers,
and then a guy kills himself in front of you.
You get to be very close for this graphic, suicidal experience.
Yeah. Put the shotgun in his mouth, blood sprays over the wall behind him.
Mm-hmm. And then they start screaming you to get the fuck out.
Right. So. When they open it, his exact words, he crawls up on a turret with a shotgun, the same guy that killed himself. He, crawls up on, it's a big, tower. And what was his words? Are you motherfucking assholes ready for this shit?
Yeah.
So if you're offended by my language saying this in the video, you don't want to go to the Haunted Hoochie.
Just stop the video now, because you're not going to want to go.
You don't want to go there, because they cuss at you. But that's
a
cool.
lot.
They're not scared.
No. More places shouldn't be scared.
Right. I mean, you don't really have to cuss people. It's kind of unique to the Haunted Hoochie, and it fits with the violent torture type aspect that they're going for. But most places should at least, like, be willing to touch you a little bit to freak you out, not just go, ooh.
Yeah.
But
one of the people in our group got her hat ripped off of her head.
Yeah.
They handed it back to her, though. They were polite. Yeah. They gave it back.
I got grabbed by my neck and dragged, like, a bit.
Someone smacked my butt and then stuck a chainsaw in between my legs.
I got a lot of that. I got
touched with a chainsaw at least, like, 5 times.
Yeah, like, they just run up and they just smack you with that motherfucker. They're just like, here you go.
Yep.
It's like, all right.
Yep. Production. The scenes they have in there, graphic, yet very detailed.
Right.
They put a lot of work into these scenes.
Yeah, you see people getting cut up, heads cut off, all kinds of stuff.
Tortured in multiple different ways.
Right.
The Satanic Church was probably my favorite, though.
It's not. I don't know. There's so many things that I like about it. It was one of the cooler scenes, and I think it's one of the newer ones. I think they just started it last year or the year before, and then this year they added the flaming pentagram because you can't have a Satanic Church without a pentagram that's on fire. That's just silly.
Just a regular pentagram, not good enough.
They were like, "What are we doing, guys? We have to have a flaming pentagram.
Have that on fire? What are we doing?
Yeah, this is silly.
God, no one's gonna take us seriously."
Right. Some other things are an awesome junkyard. They have a that was one of my favorites. They have a graveyard with a big Grim Reaper flying over it and stuff. Just really awesome set pieces and just it's room after room. There is not one black hallway, and I mean it's just once you enter, they play there's rock music play to it. It's pretty much just like walking through, kind of like a Rob Zombie style horror movie, just like hard rock and just murder and violence.
After so much, you might be like, I want a black hallway right now, just so I can breathe and collect, and then go to more torture.
Right.
But they don't give you a break.
Yeah, I mean it is fast paced, and it also it's great pacing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actors.
Yep.
All right, actors we rated a 10.
Yeah.
They are intense.
They are very intense. And while we'll get more into it later, they could do a few more. We're rating on them for the acting, which is just amazing. They are really good. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if maybe a little mean to you at times, that's their job, and that's what they do, and they do it quite well. Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's really not too much to say there.
Yeah, I mean, they're really into it. They're into it to the point where it's a bit upsetting to watch, guys.
You almost wonder, what are they like outside of this place? Are they psychotic?
Right. Well, I've seen videos online of the Hooch where they have a thing where they brand each other, people that are really big part of it, to brand themselves with the Haunted Hoochie symbol, and well, there you go. That's dedication, I guess, to get branded. But hey.
But they are clearly dedicated.
Yeah, they're clearly dedicated. Oh. And each one fits. Like I said, they have the satanic nuns in the church, and there's a pastor that has the satanic Bible, and he has all these fake snakes that he throws on you and stuff. And there's quite a few actors. Like I said, last year I think there was a little bit more. We were there earlier too, so that might have been why there wasn't as many. They might have had some late. They didn't even open till 9 though. They never open on time. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I thought they opened at 8. Maybe it's not 8. I don't know. But whatever. Just
don't bitch.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. If they don't open well, just don't bitch. Which once you actually get to go in, it's fine. We got there about 6:30, which you'll need to get there about 6:30, even though they didn't open till 9. So that was we waited 2.5 hours in, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would rather wait 2.5 hours before they open rather than be in the sea of people.
By the time they open, the line queue they have is completely full. It is insane.
Crazy busy.
Yeah, I don't know if the picture I took. I didn't really look at it. If it turned out good, I'll post it. If not, just get on their Facebook and look. They have pictures of the lines, and you'll be waiting forever. So get there early.
It would almost be worth it to get the speed pass.
Yeah,
for as long as the
speed pass. I think it's 30, 35. It's one of those two. I think you said it's 35, right?
Think so.
I think that's what it is, and it's worth $15 extra to skip if it's that long. However, they do try to entertain you. They have bands. Not a band. They have a DJ.
I don't know if they do it every Saturday night. I think they might.
They might.
I don't know what they're called. The people that stick the needles through their skin and hang
on the hooks.
Hooks.
Yeah, that's
good for them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
not my
a talent.
Not my
but
cup of tea.
I don't know if I could watch it. I like some weird stuff, but
yeah, they were just starting as we got sent in.
They were hooking everything up,
Mm-hmm.
and we were right next to the stage, so I was kind of glad we started moving. Don't know if I could handle front row to people hanging by their skin.
Right. Well, on to the next category then.
Animatronics and props, we rated a 10.
Yeah.
There are multiple rooms that you walk into, and it's just like bam, bam, bam,
Right.
bam, bam, bam.
I mean, like the first scene you walk in, I mean, there's just like two like demon monster heads on both sides of you. Oh, and watch out for the props; they will hit you. Like there is no, there's nothing stopping them from hitting you besides you moving out of their way. If they're coming at you, they will hit you unless you move. Like I got hit really hard in the shoulder by one of them. They don't care.
No.
Yeah, I mean they have like a headless horseman. They have dinosaurs. Like I said, I mentioned briefly. They have a flying grim reaper that's over the cemetery. I mean, like you walk into some rooms and there's just like a prop, just lying, just like. But I mean, they're like really good. The way they're utilized.
How some places use props as like a scene. In this place, it works just because there's so many.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
Fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits with them, like how their whole place is. Just like constant craziness.
Yeah, there's constant motion throughout the haunted house. Either actors moving, props moving, which goes with the constantly moving music as well. I mean, it's just there's just this overall vibe to it, and you're just keeping moving, and there's not really much of a stop.
Yeah.
Besides the couple scenes, you kind of stop a little there, but for the most part, it's just a constant flow.
Yeah. Which for as long as the crowds are, I don't see it working any other way. If you have to stop a lot. Right. Sorry, we had to cut. My dogs are barking assholes. Anyhow.
Yeah, we were talking about props.
Props, yes, their awesomeness.
Yeah. But yeah, and a lot of them are unique there as well. As we were saying, they have some that are used in other haunts, but a lot of them they're
for
like
the
top of
most
the
part.
line. Yeah, they have a lot of really.
That Headless Horseman's my favorite.
Right, I think they do have another ones, but still, you don't see it a lot of places,
Yeah.
and it's really cool to see. You're probably not gonna. I've never seen it in any place around here, but
yeah,
but yeah, they're just utilized in a way that distracts you really well, and yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And it helps too with the actors to be able to get you because there's so many things going on, so much movement that you don't know what's a prop moving, what's an actor moving.
Like there was one that was extremely effective because it's one of the rooms that has like a ton of animatronics. There's like there's probably like 3 like big ones in a room, and then there's one that I thought for sure was like this big like Wolfman looking thing, and then all of a sudden it starts running at and it took its like this huge hand and like grabbed the person that was in front of her line. She freaked out. It scared me just because I wasn't expecting him to all of a sudden come at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good. They have a lot.
Yeah. That's one thing they
excel.
They don't skimp on.
Yeah.
They don't skimp on the props and the animatronics, that's for sure.
No, wow.
Yeah, can't imagine how much it costs to make
all
of that.
Yeah, as I mentioned before in other reviews, they're known for having like rooms that cost $1 million and more, and that's just crazy. But hey,
but it looks good.
Yeah, they make the money. They make the money because they're good at what they do. They've been around for a while. 23 years. 23 years. Because that's one of their signs. They have a whole bunch of signs. I just recommend you read them. 23 years for $20 is one of their signs that it says. All right.
Scare factor, we rated a 9.5. There's really no way for them to avoid sending you in mass clusters.
But if you're at the very front, and especially at the very back, you're going to miss most of the scenes. You're not going to be able to see exactly what's happening. And if you're in the back, you're going to see a lot. They do it's designed for bigger crowds, but still it's kind of hard to avoid. If you get the shitty spots, you're in the shitty spot, and that kind of sucks. We luckily happened to get in the middle again. So.
I missed some, like what happened in front of our group. I
missed some of it too. Yeah, like the final scene with the decapitation. I didn't get to see that at all. But at least we got to see it last year, and we were told that we were going to have our assholes raped Mary Poppins style in a way that they were going to sing while they were doing it, which was probably one of the best things I've ever heard in my life. Maybe quite happy.
And see, when haunted houses use the same lines over and over again, and this is proof you don't have to.
Yeah.
There are millions of random, off-the-wall, messed up things you could say to me, such as, they're going to rape my ass Mary Poppins style.
Right. For the most part, they don't even talk. They just grab you and stuff. So, And
even if they did talk, I probably wouldn't even know what they were saying because I'm just like,
yeah, there's so much happening. It's like sensory overload. I mean, like I said, there's music, there's just lights, props, people from down below you, from up on top of you. Yeah, it's just like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully though, like how you would miss some of the scenes, the actors didn't really seem to go after just certain parts of the group.
Yeah, they pretty much go after
so
everyone.
pretty much being in the shitty spots is only gonna make you lose the scenes, not the actors coming after you.
And even if you do miss like a jump scare, like I said, there's so many actors and they're just gonna touch you. Like you look at them, like 'cause they're up in the ceiling, you're like no, and they're like oh yeah, and they grab your hair and pull it. It's like It's like it's not necessarily like scary, but it's just kind of like okay, I'm not really okay with this type of like breaking your personal boundary kind of thing, which I like.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yes, moving on.
Value, we rated a 10.
Yeah.
$20 is crazy cheap.
Yeah.
It might not.
Well, I don't know if I'd say crazy cheap. I think it's perfect.
For them. Yeah.
Because the Haunted Hoochie is about 20 minutes long, which feels substantially longer because of the pacing.
It sounds so short, but when you're going through it, you're not going to think, oh, that was really short. You're going to be like, that was the perfect amount of time to be in there.
Yeah, for the most part, I think it's the perfect amount of time. The only thing, and this also kind of goes back to scare factor a little bit, is the end. After the final scene, they have like one part where you go after the final like scene you're shown with the decapitation, you go into like a this treehouse thing, but there's no actors really in there. There's one final actor that chases you out with a chainsaw, but it's just kind of like random dead space after that.
Yeah. Which doesn't really fit with the rest
of
they
should have like something, maybe they should get rid of that and they put something really crazy and big there. Like to really just scare the shit out of you as one final pow.
To just leave you with that.
Right, because there's plenty of chainsaws you're getting touches throughout it, so that's not really so freaky to get chased out.
Yeah, by the thing you've been touched with 15 times already.
Right, but and you also get the bad trip in 3D. That's included. You can't you don't have to pay extra for that. That's just there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, $20 for the Haunted Hoochie and then the side haunt. It's the perfect price, I think.
Yeah.
And they haven't, and they're kind of take it proudly that they haven't really raised the price in quite a while. They've been 20 for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did. I'm pretty sure that's why the VIP is $35. It used to be $30. They did raise that $5, but the actual ticket price remained the same.
Which, if you get there later than 7:30, 8 o'clock, if you get there after 8, just spend $35. You're not going to want to wait.
And I think that's why they probably increased the price of the VIP pass, because if it's only $10 more people are likely just to pay it. So you kind of almost have to make those things more expensive so less people are willing to pay it. So that way, because if they're almost similarly priced, you're going to have a VIP pass that's like almost as long as the regular line, and then it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the value is tremendously reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If only it was closer to us.
Yeah, it's about 3 hours away, but I mean, it's definitely worth the drive.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I don't feel disappointed.
No problem driving 3 hours for that.
Right.
Worth it.
Yeah, I'm glad we leave at least that close and we get to experience something that's that great.
Yeah. Then overall, we rated a 9.5.
Right. And again, it's the only reason it has that 0.5 of difference is the few complaints we had before, which might not be its fault. But, I mean, there might be some things they could do, like for scenes that could completely ruin for you. Like they could maybe just a slightly smaller group, or they could even stop you in sections, because they did stop us, but it was kind of weird pauses.
Yeah.
Like maybe they could have split us in half, have this one group and have something happening here, because there's one big room and there's two scenes. Maybe they could have divided those two rooms, and one half of the group goes in this scene, half the group goes in that, or something. I'm sure there's some way they could have done it where the scene doesn't completely get ruined for you, but that's the main thing. That's the problem. Besides that, I mean, it's as near perfection as most haunted houses can get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
For the acting experience, just the...
Yeah.
You're not going to get an experience like this at your regular haunted house. They're not going to be this extreme. I mean,
there's just no other place that's really as close to it. I mean, the other closest place is Wells Township. They're extreme, but in a slightly different way, where Haunted Hoochie kind of goes more towards the...
aggressive.
Aggressive, violent type of act and haunt, where Wells Township, they are very aggressive and actor-wise, but they're not as crazy violent type of murder in every scene and that kind of thing.
Yeah. The gore, the violence,
but that's the closest one we've been to that they're not alike, but they're the most similar in the way that the actors are and stuff.
Yeah.
But take that as you will, and I would highly recommend going. So
Definitely.
They should. I'm pretty sure they're open Halloween and probably next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So get there if you can.
Mm-hmm. If not, next year.
Yep. Definitely next year if you don't get to go there this year.
Yeah.
All right, and that wraps up for this review. I believe this is our last review. So hopefully we'll be doing them again next year. We're going to be doing a lot of other actual movies now and other videos. We're going to have another Jesse White video coming up this week on Halloween. It should be uploaded then. It'll be interesting. Again, another little ridiculously stupid funny thing.
I'm really hoping no one watches these and takes them seriously. Like, I don't know, the guy that played Jesse's kind of a dork.
Yeah, I actually had one person actually say to me, you were just kidding about that, right? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's purposely made as cheesy and horrible as we possibly can. That's kind of the point. It's kind of that kind of humor. I don't really think I should have to clear that up, but just in case.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you watch that and all of our future projects. So we'll probably be having another actual movie that's actually filmed correctly and not just a handheld point of view. It'll be the first one we've actually done with this camera, coming up within a couple months. So watch that, and we will see you at some point. Maybe we'll do other videos letting you know what's going on, but they won't be haunt reviews, obviously. But
we can make stuff up.
Yeah. So make sure to check out all of our other videos, and I guess we'll see you for this show next year. Thank you for watching.